What's up, ecosystem? Welcome back to ATI Auto Transport, the car shipping business channel. My name is Jay. Welcome back to Tuesday Nights Live. I'm your host. You know, my goal every Tuesday night is to bring you another trade show level business presentation to you wherever you are, because your business deserves the latest in transportation news. And if you're busy, and I know you are, in a few minutes I'm going to give the welcome show lineup. You're going to know what to expect. You'll be able to skip ahead because there's clickable video time code descriptions below the video. Those will be available about 24 hours after I go live. So please use those. Skip ahead. Remember to like, comment, share, tell your friends. Thanks for watching ATI. Oil prices, inflation, shortages, tax, interest rates, wages, discretionary income, treasury yields, unemployment numbers, consumer spending. Are we headed for a supply chain recession? Or, as some would say, what about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard? No matter what you're worried about, you're looking for answers, and economics and statistics and technology can help you get there. So tonight, Paul Machin of Black Book gives a feature presentation about supply chain recession, followed by information about Meta with Brian Kramer, GM of Germain Toyota of Naples. Plus, we've got Tim Scoutelas and Skye Haulman in the panel discussion. So please join the live chat, ask your questions, share your thoughts, grow your business, because it's Tuesday Nights Live on ATI. I'm your host, Jay. Welcome back to the show. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to ATI Auto Transport, the car shipping business channel. My name is Jay. Welcome back to another Tuesday Nights Live. So we're kicking off the week with a wonderful topic: supply chain recession. Maybe. We'll see. We're going to get a great presentation with Paul Machin. We're very lucky to have him. First of all, I want you to feel welcome. Please do feel welcome. This is a safe space. Carriers, brokers, dispatchers, dealers, auction, insurance, tech, etc. Please do feel welcome. We are attempting to raise the bar in transportation, communication, and automotive. So please do say hello in the live chat. This is your opportunity to share your company information, a web link, a phone number, a question, clarification, etc. We're going to go into industry news at the quarter hour. Industry news, front of the store, back of the store, what's being talked about, current news, and breadcrumbs of what we're looking at, big picture-wise. So please do stick around for that. Very popular segment. That's pretty neat. Excited about that. Then we have, we're going to bring in Thompson, Cars on the Move. And he's going to help me introduce our friend Paul Machin of Black Book. Paul is going to give a presentation. He's going to take the microphone center stage and give a presentation. So you're going to want to take notes. Keep your notepads handy. And then, if that wasn't enough, we have a special, we're lucky. We have Brian Kramer here tonight. He's the GM of Germain Toyota of Naples. And he's joining us. He's got a special presentation. So thank you, Brian, so much for joining us tonight. First time on the channel. Then we're going to finish up with a discussion about supply chain disruption and the ingredients of the economy with Skye Haulman, Tim Scoutelas, and of course you in the live chat. What we're going to do is we're going to come back into the live chat. We're going to say hello into the live chat right after this. So stick around. Then we'll have industry news. We've got the whole lineup. Oh, wait, I forgot. Please do help me out. Do me a favor. If you got an extra like, please leave one. You can click share, click copy. You can click plus save. Get the podcast. Listen later. And if you're just starting out, you don't know where you are, what you're doing, go to ATI Auto Transport. Click on sign up. Become an ATI insider. And short of that, if you're just, man, I don't know what to do, I need help, call Ty, 417, here's his phone number. Ty is 417-483-2764. He's at the trade shows. We're going to go into the live chat right after this. So do me a favor, stick around, because I'll be right back.
Everybody wants to be part of a bigger story. Auto transport is a vital part of that story. Vehicle reconditioning starts when your transport arrives at the dealership. The story starts with you. For our auto retail customers, as yours, full satisfaction.
Rapid Recon, transparent communication through vehicle reconditioning software and auto remarketing process management for car dealers. Tell your story. People, process, and software. Visit rapidrecon.com. Yeah, cool. Okay, yeah, actually, Kimberly's got the night off. She's at the Royals game. So let me go ahead and throw this link in the live chat. And away we go. Let's go into the live chat. I'm going to back it up to the top. But thank you guys so much for saying hello. It's Tuesday night. Mark Grodicke got in here first. Hope you're having a good week. Yeah, it's busy. It's good. We're in between trade shows at the moment, so we're gearing up for the next one. Ty is here, Car Shipping Business Channel. What's up, Ty? Yeah, I'm looking forward to having Paul on the show, too. It's been a little while since we had a presentation from Paul Machin, so it's pretty cool. And Danny B says it's been a minute. Hello, everyone. What's up, Danny B? Carlos Braxton is here. What's going on, Carlos? LAI, John Cochran, LAI Auto Transport. Hey, what's up from Michigan? Let me guess. Pickups and vans, full load. That's just a guess. What's up, John? Dwayne Woods. I need IFTA if I am running a 2-car hauler setup non-CDL. Well, that there is a great Brian Riker question. So what you want to do is join us tomorrow. And I know we haven't had a show in a few weeks. We just our schedules were in conflict. But there's the link in the live chat for DOT compliance. Please join us tomorrow. That's at noon Central Time. And we will get you that answer. And I'll try to... Here's what I'm going to do too, Dwayne. I'm going to copy this question. I'm going to send it to... Here's what I'll do. I'll send it to Brian. Maybe we can get an answer before the show's over. IFTA. I'm emailing Brian right now. And if you want to email Brian, check this out. On air at yourdotguy.com. That's the way we roll in the live chat segment on Tuesday nights. Well, really, all the time now. Hey, Paul is here in the live chat. Silverman is here. Buy China. Build back. Hey. Yeah, that's what happened is if you bought China. I don't even know if we could buy all the tea in China right now. Says Van Morrison. Chris Chamberlain, yeah, what's up? Danny B. Oh, we already said hello to Danny B. We said it again. There we go. We got through the live chat. It's not too late to say hello in the live chat. It's just that we do have a lot. We have a lot of stuff tonight. And we'll keep it open for a few more minutes. Let's see what's been going on. I mean, I put what we've been doing in the industry news. So if anything I say might already be repetitive in industry news, But, hey, what's up? There's John Larrick. What's up, John? John, are you going to be at AHA, at the Auto Haulers Association of America? That's the first week in May. Ty will be there. We're hoping to do some live stuff. Still working that out, but, we're not intrusive. We'll be out in the hallways. We could be in the parking lot. Shoot, man, we could be down the street at the coffee shop. But yeah, we want to do that. And let's see, a digital dealer just happened. That's in industry news too. What else has been going on? What's going on with you guys? Right? Enough about me and my stuff and this show and all that jazz. What are you guys doing? You can, whether it's gas, actually, let's just talk about tonight. Supply chain. I wrote down, I got my notes. This is just my first page. Pre-owned auto, notepad by Pre-owned Auto Logistics. Inflation, treasury yield, wages, consumer spending, interest rates, unemployment. Is it not a recession? Is it just stagflation? What's going on with politics, the budget, the Fed, EV, batteries, oil, real estate, tax refunds? Oh, man. Dude, there's just a lot of ingredients. Right? You're working on that too, John? Great. We hope to see you there. And that's one of the things too, is that what would be nice is by getting back to Auto Haulers Association of America in May would be that we do a lot of interacting with parts of the industry, but the busy auto transport business owner, we still want to build up the communication there. I think there's a lot of opportunity to talk, especially since, what did I say? Back in 2018 when everything was normal, I don't know if we needed, a channel like this. Well, nothing is normal anymore. And it's going to you'll see it in industry news. Even businesses that were focused on hauling new cars, 9 at a time, are in which... they're in used? Yeah, they're in used. Well, interesting how that works. I mean, you got to go where the business is, and since things are crazy, and we're just trying to build bridges of communication. But I'll tell you what, you already knew all that, right? It gets old listening to me rehash the same old hash. That's not bad. Sounds like a hashtag. Might call Twitter. Let's see what Elon Musk thinks of that. What do you guys think of that, the Twitter stuff? And Elon Musk? Doesn't matter? I don't know. Might make a great TikTok on the back of a car hauler. Somebody's doing that right now. Probably not. All right. I've wasted enough time. We're going to go into industry news here in a second. And check out the video right before industry news. Did you already know that? Tell me you already knew that. I'll be right back.
Transport Auto Quoter is by far the leading auto quoting software on the market, and the only auto quoter with a pro version that comes preset with accurate pricing for anywhere in the U.S. So you don't have to worry about it. The best part is that no change with your current software is needed. Just plug TAQ in and start booking jobs. Carriers can easily plug TAQ into their current websites and start making money right away. I bet you're wondering how we do this instantly and accurately 24/7. Well, constant analytics is the key. Our Price Watch team is constantly monitoring current market conditions, paying close attention to seasonal and quick-moving industry changes. At the end of the day, it takes a lot of time and data to maintain good pricing, time that most of us just don't have on a daily basis. So free yourself up. Using TAQ Pro is really a no-brainer. Save time and money, maximizing your leads and optimizing your online investments. You'll finally be able to sleep well at night knowing that TAQ is on the job selling for you 24/7. Never missing a potential job.
So you need an auto shipping quote and broker software you can trust, provide instant, accurate quotes online with Transport Auto Quoter by Superflow Systems, and move with Pro ABD CRM. Visit superflowsystems.com. Link in the live chat. Mark's in the live chat. Any questions? Mark is right here, ready to help you answer your questions. Yeah, consumer vehicle acquisition. What a topic. What a wild topic. Oh, here, let's do this. Let's see. Oh, you know what? I forgot to cue this up. All right, hang on one second. Let's get this ready. Check, check, check. Okay. Now I think we got it. All right, here we go. You guys ready for this? Somebody tell me you already knew that. Oh, before we get to it. Here we go. Thank you so much. Mark Rodicke. Making martinis in the super chat. Thank you so much, Mark. Know the number 24/7. Mark is here in the live chat. He does want to help you. Are you a dealer looking for pricing integration? Carrier? Are you a broker looking for a CRM? Carrier mobile app, TMS? Mark wants to help. He's in the live chat. Thank you, Mark. Okay, so here we go. This is the news. What, yesterday?
April 18th, the Biden administration announced that the Transportation Security Administration will no longer enforce the federal mandate requiring masks in all U.S. airports and on-board aircraft.
Yeah! What's up, Captain?
Effective immediately, masks are optional for all airport employees, crew members,
Optional.
and passengers inside U.S. airports and on-board aircraft.
Oh, thank God, man. I mean, I'm telling you, right? I mean, there's going to be somebody, and that's fine. Listen, if you like wearing the mask, great. Wear it. Here, you can have mine, too, because I'm telling you, oh, I'm so glad. And I've really been, like, I'm one of those guys in the back, like, hanging it on my head, and, yeah. So, oh, that's so great. Oh, thank God. Okay. All right. Let's move on with industry news. Tonight is Supply Chain Recession. Episode 238 on a Tuesday night in a row on ATI. Yeah, exactly. Ty, right on. Me and Ty. And then, you know what he needed to do is then just start throwing out bottles of vodka. Not even the little ones. Just the big beers in the back. Okay. So they've been talking about, everybody watches the news. Whatever you watch, you hear recession, inflation, etc. Gas prices, you see it, you hear it, you say it, you know it. So Paul Machin is really good at kind of bringing the elements together and showing you, how we got here and where we're going. And he put this together on LinkedIn, and we said, Paul, you got to come back. You got to present on ATI. So he's going to do that. He's going to be here in about a half hour ish. Supply chain recession and the ingredients thereof. He's going to talk about oil prices and how the indicators of wars and oil prices. Interesting stuff. Consumer price index. Fred. He's going to explain what that is. Inflation impact on U.S. consumers. Right? Break down your own costs. Right? And then the changes. Just the changes since March. Ouch. Wow. Rising prices. Risk. And loans. And Paul turned me on to this. You got to check this out. Seriously, get your phones out and take a screenshot. You really want to watch this. It's a 54-minute video on YouTube, why global supply chains may never be the same. I really got a lot out of this video. It's shot well, discussed well, it's in logical order, with an overview of business. Right, and this is actually, what I like about this too is that you get to see bird's eye view of a worker, but also macro view of an executive. This video has it all. Check it out. Thank you, Paul. Another one, that's from Paul Machin. And just pointed out, yeah, I mean, when you look at the Amazon van, independent contractor, and the owner-operator trucker. Wow, so much similarity there. You know, I always talk about the ecosystem and look at it as a whole. What are we talking about on this show? Well, bang, we're gonna talk about everything. This show literally macros this is the macro of the macro. And we do that here on ATI because we connect the back of the store, transport, parking lot, etc., to the front of the store, retail, etc. And around we go. And we want to see, you know, show us, what are you seeing firsthand? Send it in. You can send in the news to autotransportintel@gmail.com. I also want to mention, we had a great show Friday. This was a great show. And I wish Jason Rice could join us tonight. He was not available. But another strategery show. We had Ty caught up with Jason in his office. And man, they went through the data. Wow. Amazing, the data that Jason likes to go through. And then the strategy in this book, WTF, Work the Facts. Let us know how we can help you get in touch with more materials to help you sift through the information. You know, we love trade shows. We go to the trade shows. We had, it was already a week ago. Seems like a month ago. We were at Auto Intel Summit. We were live last Tuesday night. We went live Wednesday and Thursday of last week, live in Raleigh. And here's a social media post from our Wednesday after hours show. That was great. Or was that Tuesday night? Was that Wednesday? That was Tuesday night. Okay. And then this was, Beck was spotted on Wednesday. Beck of Super Dispatch. It's so, you know what I like about this photo? It looks like he's been photoshopped in, maybe. So we're going to be a digital dealer next month in Tampa. If you don't know about Digital Dealer, you can go to digitaldealer.com, look for hashtag Digital Dealer, and shout out to Emerald and Digital Dealer. Thank you so much for the access. Already sharing it on social media, and you know, lots of people go to that. Let us know if we can help you. Then we'll be at Auto Haulers Association of America in Atlanta next month. That's happening. We'll be live there. And, lots of interest there from the car hauling community as well. I don't have to tell you that, but I'm here to spread the word. And, connect with us. Look at, there it is. There's Dana and Jeremy and Terry Shabesta. What's up, guys? I just wanted to share this. I don't really do a lot of self-promotion. Yeah, right. But this is from April. 125,000 minutes watched. How cool is that? That's a pretty good stat. I may not get the views, but man, I got the volume. Ooh, that's good too. I need to write that one down. Views and the volume and the hashtag. Send it in, autotransportintel@gmail.com. Let me know how we can help, what you want to talk about. And this is how we get our car shipping news. It's on Tuesday nights. We do it together. Together again. Back in the saddle. Put it up on the big screen. Get it all ready, because here we go. You know that every Tuesday night I got 5 new questions. That's right. Step right up. I got 5 new questions. And it is just about that time. It is just prior to 7:25. That seems to be our magical sweet spot. So here we go. Question 1. Fingers on the buzzers. Here we go. Since NAFTA, we've become dependent on countries to supply us with correct quantities of goods and services ranging in importance from chewing gum to industrial chemicals and baby formula to petroleum. If the flow stopped coming, what would that cause? High prices, inventory shortages, inflation, or all of the above? Oh, no. Nobody even guessed yet. How could you? The problem is the initiators of the current crisis don't want to own it. Okay. All right. Silverman, listen. I don't like him either. I didn't like either guy. I don't like any of them. So rather than focusing on the initiator, let's talk about the ingredients. Now, you're welcome to Let's Go Brandon this chat all night. I'm just saying. Because there's plenty of shows for that. But you can do it. I'm not going to stop you. We have freedom here. Bobby Neal, what's up? Anybody shipping backlots loads? Pairs are subsidizing their dealer transport. Interesting point. Zombies in the streets. Now, see, that I can get on board with. There are zombies in the streets. It's interesting because I guess I've learned the hard way, when a dealer or company says free transportation, well, they're paying for that from somewhere else. It's just that I don't really like it kind of gives me the willies, right? Free trans. That's like Googling cheap car shipping. All right, anybody want to guess? High prices, inventory shortages, inflation, or all of the above? Question 2. What is the most appropriate carrier pay amount to ship a 2020 Kia Optima from Greenville, North Carolina to Bluff, Utah? Is it $695, $900, $1,315, $1,640, or inflation? Kia Optima, Greenville, North Carolina, Bluff, Utah. Well, appropriate. Let's talk about what is appropriate, right? What is appropriate? Because maybe it should be what is the marginal. I think marginal. I like marginal carrier pay. Right now, Mark's in the live chat like, we didn't talk about this. Hey, Ben, it's a tough topic, but it impacts everyone. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, hey, Ben, it's Super Dispatch. What's going on, man? Tough topic. Yeah, well, it is. That's right. Oh, Bobby's got 1315. Thank you, Bobby. Mike, by the way, mic check 1, 2, 3. Is the audio okay? Is it too loud? Oh, it's on? That's the problem? Okay. I say 1315 probably as well. I'd say that it's a Kia Optima. Right, exactly. It should be $2,000. I like that, Ty. I'm going to go with 1315 as well. I went with all the above on the first one. I'm going to go with 1315. Here we go. Question 3. What stops runaway inflation? Cold water, interest rates, Americans quitting spending, or a recession? I think I know this one. So I was, what I did was, I was watching a lot of videos. I actually, those screenshots were some of the, that I showed in Industry News at the beginning, were from videos that I watched about the economy, oil prices, interest rates, treasury yields. So I think I got this one. Sean's got 1350. You know it's a good thing when a carrier and I'll say broker representative can come up with that appropriate carrier rate. That's pretty cool. Yeah, Bobby, you got it. That's it, man. Okay, you hit the you hit the brakes. You didn't go off on a really not. We're not going to get a Let's Go Brandon? Dang it. Question 4. What is the most appropriate carrier pay amount to ship a 1985 Chevy Corvette from Farmington, Connecticut to New Haven, Michigan? Farmington, isn't that basically Boston? And New Haven is... Wait a minute. Are they trying to confuse me? Yeah, John, I think you got it too, buddy. Which is interesting because I think that's like Fed 101. The Fed 101, yeah, throttle the spending. And what's interesting, because then if you look at, right, what's happening with used vehicle pricing, how do you put the brakes on skyrocketing used vehicle values? Paul Machin is going to be up here in a bit. Love to know that one. And how do you put the brakes on driver retention skyrocketing? Or would that be dropping? How do you do that? Grand Rapids? Is that where that is? Okay. So that's not that far. And it's a Corvette. It's not and it's a Corvette, but it's a Corvette. So I'm going to say, yeah, up in the Northeast, I'm going to go with 1,000. That's what I wouldn't move it for less than $1,000. Not that it won't. Silver Mint's at 13. Right. Oh, Silver Mint's thinking of gas prices. Right. Oh, they did drop? Well, they had nowhere to go but down. Right. Pay more than the next guy equals retained drivers. Well, don't go telling anybody, Bobby. We might get this thing figured out. Oh, okay. It's up in the... So, New Haven's up in the... What do they call it? The glove? All right. Here we go. Question 5. What is unique about the cause of inflation this time? Is it the war, Dust Bowl event, the pandemic, or money printing? Well, I think it is the war. Because of the jump in prices in March, and we already had supply chain issues, chip shortage, right? And prices would go up because there already were shortages. Of course, that Dust Bowl was nasty. Oh, man. Thank you guys so much for the 5 questions. Really do appreciate it. It's Auto Transport. My name is Jay. Car Shipping Business Channel. Yada, yada. Do me a favor. I'm just going to take a quick break. Right after this, we're going to go into Industry News Part 2. Stick around.
If we can capture pictures of the car in under 10 seconds, and you can capture more of them per minute, well, then you're going to have more of those online, and you're going to have more buyers seeing them sooner, and that's going to equate to more revenue.
Are you completely stressed out from all the calls and the contracts and the verification of loads when nobody answers the phone? Call Murphy Auto Dispatch Services today. Murphy Auto Dispatch Services has over 15 years of experience in the transport industry. We are your office while you are on the road. We book, we verify, and we bill out your loads for you. We have an excellent accounting staff and an even better dispatch team. Give us a call today at 417-273-0021. Or if you want to email me, it's murphyautotransport31@yahoo.com. Give us a call today.
Do you need help staying loaded or moving a car? That's the voice of Sue. She's a fully licensed broker. She runs a busy dispatch office. She's my co-host on Thursdays on Dispatching Live. Visit murphyautotransportservices.com. Thank you so much for sticking around. It is now time for Industry News Part 2. Here we go. Rivian is warning that the auto industry could soon face a shortage of battery supplies for EVs. Ah, nuts. A challenge, he says, that could surpass the current computer chip shortage. Really? Car companies trying to lock up limited supplies of raw materials, cobalt, lithium, nickel, are key to battery making, and many are constructing their own battery plants to put more battery-powered models in showrooms. Well, hey, look at this. Look at what we got going on. Well, thank you so much, Super Dispatch. All right. Super Dispatch making martinis in the Super Chat. Big thanks to Jay, Ty, and the ATI community for keeping the industry armed with the power of knowledge. Thank you, Super Dispatch. Appreciate that. Very cool chart logos. 3 rounds. Thank you very much. Okay. So, this is the map of the boat tracks off the coast of Shanghai. That also known as dispatching and logistics. But yeah. Now I'm sure that it's not as bad as it looks, but then again, it's probably bad. Very possible over the next weeks we're going to get a trial run of what happens if and when the China boats don't show up. Get prepared for a supply shock, the likes you have never seen. Gnarly, dude. Fun fact, American-made products don't get stuck on cargo ships. Well, there you go. Tesla's no longer delivering new cars with charging cables. Now, some would say that's well, anyway, we'll keep that's speculation live, Jay. 2022 Ford Mustang Mach-E no longer available to order in the U.S. Due to high demand, the current model no longer available. Wow. Buying a new car, monthly car payments could be $691 a month. Ouch, man. That's just the Prius. Okay. GM secures supply of critical raw material for future EV batteries. This, yes, I think we're going to be seeing more of this. Everyone's going to be trying to lock up their cobalt. You thought catalytic converters were on the, well, shoot, man. Watch your lithium. U.S. Express pilots 24/7 autonomous freight with Kodiak Robotics. Here's another headline. You're just not going to stop seeing this stuff. Now, I know we're talking about freight, and I know we're talking about between California and Atlanta. But that is just the beginning. Kodiak isn't the only AV company U.S. Express working with at the moment. They were trialing from 5 different tech providers. Key point being there are several companies working on this 24/7, day and night. AI. Speaking of, next time you're in the airport and you see one of these, okay, you see that? You see that dealio? Yeah. Yeah, there's no more cashier in there because I guess it knows your identity when you walk in. Oh, here we go. Debit or credit card needed for entry and payment. So you got to have your card, and you got to have your license, and oh my God, look at all the cameras up there. Oh my God. I didn't even see that. Anyways, don't stand there and try and take pictures. They don't like that. Holy mackerel. Coming soon to a hallway near you. Okay. How a car hauler moves 4 million vehicles in a supply chain crisis. Car hauler diversifies into used vehicles to offset lower OEM shipments. It says United Road, nation's largest hauler, diversified its business to battle the pandemic and supply chain crisis by diversifying more into used. There it is. Proof. The proof is in the pudding. Assertus. You got to get creative now. Assertus is partnership with Pods. St. Louis-based Assertus teams up with moving and storage company Pods. Now, I think it's to move vehicles, but still, getting creative is the name of the game. AutoSled. They've been upping their marketing. All-in-one transporter app. No fees. Run Buggies, talk about next generation security, no more passwords. Everybody's getting creative. Jack Cooper, sign-on bonus, medical, vision, etc. So, okay, so there's, yeah. Now for some of the, and this guy says he's got steady work too. Give him a call. But other than that, like, I find it interesting that I went to this Facebook thread, Car Hauler Life. Most of the posts on Car Hauler Life really looked more like the opposite of life. How many people are actually selling their rigs? Let's see. That guy, and then this guy, and then this guy. Let's see. And then this guy, the Freightliner combo. And if you pick your, what are you looking for? It's up here, man. Take 3 trailer, 3-car wedge, 12 grand or whatever you got. Western Star, Cottrell, Wally Moe, whatever you're looking for, it's there. I'm just reporting the news, and then I may, nervously giggle. Something. Wallenius Wilhelmsen. Here's the international news. We like to wrap up with international news. Car transport blockchain with Venturis. Shipping firm Wallenius Wilhelmsen has invested in Venturis, blockchain platform owned by the major logistics firms that distribute finished cars in Europe. Who does final mile in Europe? Venturis. And then how about this one? Cars24 is your e-commerce platform for pre-owned in Australia. So there we go. Look for it on a quiz near you. And then, I always like to look at the big picture. It's getting tougher all the time. But the Auto Transport 22, I'm working on that. Unless there's some crazy more news, I think I got it locked in. I'll be presenting that in about a month or so. ATI, 4 times a week-ish. We got DOT compliance tomorrow. And if you missed the shows, get the podcast. Look for the speaker icon. And if you see ATI Auto Transport, that's okay. It's just us. It's all good. DOT compliance, do that. Join us tomorrow. What's Silverman doing? I still have never seen a JC truck with a container on it. Dispatching Live is on Thursdays. We got some interesting stuff there because we didn't have a show last week. Cars on the Move on Fridays, connecting dealers, auctions, and carriers. It is the Car Shipping Business Channel. My name is Jay. Thank you so much for joining us tonight and jumping in the live chat. What we're going to do now is we're going to... Oh, Ty, get ready. You're up next. Let's bring in Ty, and then Ty is going to help me introduce Paul Machin. We're going to kick off the show. So get ready. We're entering the... I don't know if it's the second half, third quarter, whatever it is. But that's what's coming up next, so stick around, because I'll be right back. Is your auction feeling the pain before a sale? You know the one. All hands on deck to process as many vehicles as possible, working late into the night, and still not getting through them all because they just keep coming. Hours and minutes before the sale, your condition report writers are moving as fast as they can. But with the imaging process alone taking 5 to 10 minutes a vehicle, it's a losing battle. There aren't enough hours in the day or enough people. Until now. Meet Black Widow Imaging. Here to streamline your imaging process, effectively removing your bottlenecks and allowing you to process and sell more vehicles, even minutes before the sale. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Providing consistent high-quality images to your website in minutes, allowing you to capture more digital sales, revenue, and labor savings. Don't believe us? Just ask our clients. Ready to capture more? Contact us today for a demo and consultation. Capture more automotive business profit with Black Widow Imaging, high-resolution 4K images for OEMs, auctions, dealers, rail, port, fleet, insurance, transportation, and more. Schedule your live demo. Visit blackwidow.imaging.com. All right, gang, it is now time. Thank you so much for saying hello in the live chat. It is now time to... Yeah, what'd you think of that industry news? Interesting stuff? Let's see what Ty thinks. Let's bring in Ty. He is the man. He's been on the move, but but he's back and he's here and he's ready to talk. Ty, can you see me and hear me okay?
I can. How about you?
All right, I can see you, I can hear you. What's going on, man? How you doing?
After watching your industry news, it's like you take the notes, like, so actually, believe it or not, sometimes I actually prepare like notes for the show just to kind of get it in my head. And so after I watch your industry news, I'm like, crip.
Yeah, I know what you mean. You know, it's an interesting process doing industry news. Maybe if I get the chance after retirement, I'll teach like an art class and just teach kids. Hey everybody, let's do industry news today. Like,
right.
Let's take the last few days and wrap it in some kind of whacked out media origami and just freak each other out.
Tell you what, it's definitely interesting. So here, obviously we have Paul. I'll introduce Paul in just a minute, but let's back up to, so tonight's show is really difficult for me because it's not D or R, it's not Democrat or Republican for me. Okay, so I'm going to talk about me for a minute. I'm going to let you know, sure, I'm conservative, sure, I'm Republican, sure, blah, blah, blah. But what's happened probably over the last 2 years for Ty has been interesting because I came across this thing called GameStop and AMC. And the reason I'm going to tell you about GameStop and AMC is simply because money does not have any respect for D, Democrat, or Republican, right? And I think that's fair to say it like that because all of a sudden you're dealing with money. And so there was, I think Silverman made a comment, you know, who initiated this or who's responsible? Nobody wants to own this. Well, I think anybody watching this show tonight that thinks that everything's fine, I doubt there's anybody in the audience or watching this later that really honestly thinks the economy's fine, finance is fine, everything's great. Maybe the guy who's working 6 jobs to pay for his rent in his car and his house might doesn't think about it at all. But the reality of it is I personally believe, and Jay never hears me talk like this on the show, so Jay and I haven't talked, and I'm sorry if I'm going to F it up, but here it is. I'm telling you guys, it's not about Democrat or Republican. It's about us. It's about relationship. It's about somebody, and I don't know who they are, but division works really well, all right? Masks, vaccines. The one thing that I've kind of decided, at least in my mind, in my heart, that you don't get people to fight against each other about is their money, their well-being, their person, their personal finances, their life, right? And so as we kind of step back, I've been in this GameStop, this AMC, I've been in the Reddit group. Yeah, make fun of me because I'm in Reddit, that's fine. But the DD, due diligence, that I read hours and hours and hours of stuff that I don't even understand, I can't comprehend. I can assure you something is going to happen. I don't know when, I don't have the crystal ball, but I'm telling you that I've watched Paul's presentation. I followed the guy the Greg Banks, I think might be his name on LinkedIn. He's the one that had the pictures, but I follow a lot of people that are maybe in trucking and finance at the same time. So what I'm kind of excited about this tonight because my son, 24, he hears me talking to different people all the time. We hang out a lot. We spend time together. He's like, 24, I'm 51. So what he said, this is funny, Jay, you'll like this. He said, Dad, you need to come up with catastrophic adaptation because what's getting ready to happen, people are going to have to adapt. If they haven't prepared for what's getting ready to happen, they should probably be ready to adapt quickly, right? So point being, I don't have the crystal ball. I don't know what's happening, but yeah, you can look at CPI, you can look at inflation, you can look at, you know, the IRS even. I mean, you can just keep going down the list of all of them. And there's a problem. And I'm not a finance guy and I'm not giving financial information or advice, but I am telling you, I'm really excited that Jay's put a lot of work into this. And I think it's beautiful to have people like Paul Machin come on the show. Here's your segue. It's beautiful to have people like Paul Machin come on the show who really knows what he's talking about. I'm a truck guy, I'm a car hauler guy. Yeah, I read a lot, I pay attention to a lot, but that information that you're going to hear tonight, this is going to blow your mind, what's getting ready to take place. And nobody's going to come out and say a crash is absolutely going to happen. But here are the things that we need to do. So part of our audience, I feel like if you don't have a client base, if you don't have reoccurring business with the same people, now's a great time to go ahead and Jay, watch Jay's face, everybody. Now's a great time to get on the load board, to get on the apps, to get on the.
Awesome, man. That is funny. That is so funny.
Now's the time to do that. Yeah, I said it.
And I want to say this is that what's interesting is, so since this is opposite day, making deals with clients is hard. We know that's hard. We're just saying one of the things we've said is talk to people. I know it's hard to get a big contract, and sometimes when you get what you ask for, and now suddenly you can't handle it and do it. But regardless, I think this is the truth. Is no matter what sector of automotive you're in, this is another valuable show. And even if you only tune in for 5 minutes and it gave you an idea and you go to something else and start reading, fine, that's cool. Totally cool with that. If we were into views, we'd probably pick something else. But this is important stuff. I have no idea what's going to happen next. And I don't like any of the guys that either have been in office or going to be in office next. I say, and the thing is, I don't even think Drain the Swamp is real anymore. It'll be a swamp forever. It doesn't freaking matter. And if your catastrophic adaptation, I put it in the live chat, means going and buying all the toilet paper at Costco, fine. Drink the iodine because you heard that, whatever. I don't know what you do. But drink the iodine or get the Vermexin or the Seroquel or the Skye Rizzy. I don't know what you do.
I don't know.
Have you seen all the drug commercials on TV all the time lately? Man.
Drug commercials?
Drug commercials. There's a drug for everything now. You don't want much. I bet you don't watch much TV.
No, I don't.
Exactly.
There's a reason.
And I don't either, but I've been watching, I'll just say, I've been watching this. I have a feeling that this will creep up in the conversation later. I've been watching American Idol with Kimberly. Okay? Mm-hmm. During American Idol, I think there were at least 10 Skye Rizzy, Seroquel, Opitinumdum, these commercials. Anyways, the world is headed in a strange direction, and our only hope is information. So here comes Paul Machin. There we go. Did I do that? I made it up. I got through the transition. All right. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Please do help me welcome onto center stage. We have the one, the only. We're so lucky to have him back. Paul Machin of Black Book. He's Director of Strategic Accounts and, I say, part-time economist. Paul Machin, ladies and gentlemen. Here he comes. And there we go. And wash it. Yeah, shots of ivermectin and wash it down with bleach. There's Bobby. Thank you, Bobby. Now, Paul, we can't see you yet. Oh, there we go. Videos coming in. Jay, you're too funny. I have my own Dr. Mom. There we go. Hey, what's up, Paul?
How's everything?
Good, man. How are you doing? We'll let you get settled for a second. Before we go into presentation, Paul, you're back. You're live on the show, and what's been going on? What's in your world lately?
Personally, just really enjoying some family time, and getting my health back, recuperating very well. Not a lot of people know, but I had a long haul COVID side effect from having COVID in February 2020.
Wow.
It just took 2 years to catch me because I'm, very physically active, take a lot of, I believe in the fifth food group, heavy supplements, spend several $100 a month just in that arena. Doctors tell me I should have died, but I didn't.
Wow. Get out of here.
Yeah.
I did not know. Yeah, because you're fit. You stay active.
I do. October
Holy
13th, I was
cow.
told that you're in heart failure. I'm like, really? I just ran a 5-minute mile a week ago. What are you talking about, heart failure? But I'm enjoying the fact that I am, but they tell me I'm cured, and I am, I've got one thing on my mind, is to live my life.
Wow, man. That is wild stuff. Wow. Well, I'm really glad that. Now, is that over? Are you through it?
Yeah, I'm cured. I'm cured. I just have to make sure I maintain what I've been doing that is kind of off, that's kept it from having the impact that it should have had. It took almost 2 years for it to really knock me down.
That is intense. You know what's interesting about that too is that I find that the foot in the mouth factor hits me daily. I mean, right there, like within the same hour, I'm celebrating no more masks, and then talking to a good friend that, ran into health problems because of the pandemic. So,
yeah.
What can I say?
The reality is that the only reason why I survived is because the things I was doing, not the thing I was told to do.
Well, all right. Well, then on that note, so perfect. You're now healthy enough to bring us another dose of doom and gloom. So that's wonderful.
Oh, no.
No, I always try to look, the world operates in two phases, on pain or pleasure. That's what we spend our money on. Hey, are you guys still with me?
Yeah. We can see you. Yeah.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah, we see your screen. Thank you.
Perfect. So that's the basis of that's the premise of all business, pain or pleasure. And unfortunately, we do tend to gravitate more towards the pain side of things. Hence the reason why the media is more negative, lots of pain, because we are subconsciously drawn to that. However, I have found that there are ways that if we look at the data, we can figure out ways to actually survive in these troubling times. Like a quick question. Anyone want to guess how many, Ty or Jay, how many recessions have we been through since 1973?
I'd go at least 10 would be my guess. Minimum.
7. We've been
What's
through
that?
7. Which way is it?
7.
Here we go. Let me get.
Yeah, I think, okay, now I was thinking of my guess off of, because I saw your oil price in your, right, and you had the dotted lines.
Right.
I'm a totally visual guy.
That's right.
Yeah, so, all right, cool. Thanks, Paul.
So we've had 7. And 3 of them have been pretty severe. The rest have been kind of mild. So I look at that and I think, all right, I've been through several of those myself and come out on top every single time. So I don't look at this as, oh my God, we got to put the red flags out. People got to stop living. We've got to prepare. Instead, I look at it and say, all right, where's the opportunity to come out on the other side of this and be on top and not be a victim? I don't believe in victimhood. There's enough knowledge in the world today that if we apply our experience and effort to learn and understand what is truly happening, we can change the outcome. We absolutely can change the outcome. Ty, I appreciate what you were saying, that it's not a Republican or Democrat thing. It's not. It's a life thing. And that's really what it boils down to. It's a life thing. So Jay, you showed one of my slides I wanted to share. This is not something you will see on normal media today. None of the alphabet media will show you this slide and what you showed earlier, nor will they talk about the long-term and short-term impact of this. These are the cargo ships that are sitting off the ports all up and down the South China Sea. They can't get out.
So
They're being shut down.
I want to ask a question. And by the way, I like Alphabet Media rather than Lamestream. I want to try to get back in the middle of the road of information instead of the side alleys of gossip. Okay? Right? Are these all individual ships, or were they ships 5 minutes ago and 1 minute ago? Do you know?
No, these are individual ships. So
my God.
This is called Skyglass. This app is called Skyglass. A friend of mine shot me. I asked him, said, hey, can you use your Skyglass app? Take a shot, this was a live shot he did 2 days ago of what it looked like on the water. All right, so those are physical ships being parked. Now you compound that, because that's just the beginning. That's the domino effect, right? The first domino hits and the next one. How many ports all over the world are also in the same position? We already knew that our ports were backlogged. It was in that video that I sent you. What did they say? They used to unload a cargo ship within 2 to 3 days. Now it's taking 2 weeks, and there are thousands off the coast of Long Beach, California, right? Thousands just sitting there waiting to get in. And the problem I have is not enough drivers, not enough union workers to offload. It's just everything just compounds from there. So I want to set the conversation. This is from China. China right now controls the world supply chain. And here's my case for that. So in this grid right here, this is from Quartz. Go to QZ.com, Google, will we have a hard time? This is from 2019, pre-pandemic, right? And they are already talking about, right? So each circle, the size of the circle represents the impact to the U.S. economy. That really tiny one that you see right here, this really tiny one, that's 75 million. This one right here, 2.6 billion. What do you think this big one here is? And this big one? And this
trillion.
Big one?
I don't know.
Right. Now I'm going to show you the significant impact from one country. Just against America, not against the world. So this is a grid that I was able to gather from.
Whoa.
Oh.
Okay.
I'll put the link in the comments for everyone. So
I have never seen this graph. I mean, I've seen, right? This is amazing.
Right.
Oh.
Connecting the dots, right?
I think it has UFOs on there too.
So check it out. We had 16.5% of the China production exported here into the U.S. Broadcasting equipment, 8.44%. Right? You would say what? So what a big deal. Well, let's think about the technology that's being used in vehicles today for self-driving and automation, and for adaptive safety technology. That's a part of that. How about the computers at almost 6%? We already know the impact of integrated smart chips and circuits. What we've already gone through, pre-China suppressing delivery, right? We've already gone through that. So when you take a look and understand, okay, we're at 16.5%. Who's the next closest country? Hong Kong at 9.89%. I mean, Japan at 5.7. When you talk about taking a water hose and bending it so no more water comes out, we're the most impacted.
Wow.
Right? And it's just a trickle-down effect. It goes down. So many of the analysts are saying that the supply chain crisis that we're experiencing today will be worse, much, much worse within the next 6 months. It'll take about 6 months for the domino effect to get to us. So as warehouses begin to empty, because right now we're shopping, we're buying out of warehouses. We're not getting stuff that's already on the boat waiting to get shipped here. We're buying stuff out of the warehouses. So that's food, that's technology, that's parts, that's whatever we need. It's out of the warehouses, not from the supply chain. It's already in stock. What happens when they are out of stock? How much longer will it take to replenish? those items. So for me, when I think about the automotive industry, we already know that we're going to be tight on new vehicle inventory. I talked to a buddy today. It's like, how's your sales? He was, man, it sucks. I got no effing inventory. Can't get it, right? And the used vehicles he's had to pay too much to get them, and now the lenders are being restrictive on it. However, I do believe that the key for survival in our industry is used vehicles, especially for sales and service, and I'll share that case with you here in a little bit. So the inflation in the CPI, how does this relate? You mentioned it earlier. So what I did is I went back into the Federal Reserve, and I wanted to take a look at what the CPI numbers really meant. And when I went into the site, I didn't realize they had like a dozen different versions of CPI. So I got to play with it. So the blue is the Consumer Price Index for all urban consumers, all items, average in the US city. This is all items. And if you notice, starting in, this is probably about 1975-ish, the blue line's pretty high, right? And it's pretty stacked, but every time there's a red peak, which the red peak is Consumer Price Index for all urban consumer items, less food and energy. So you got to take out the increase in food and the increase in energy. Why would anybody want to remove food and energy to give you a different number to make you feel better about it, right? So the reality is this: every time the red spiked over the blue, right here, the black arrows, pre-recession. It didn't go to recession, it's pre-recession. So it's the beginning, it's the domino effect. It might take 5 or 6 months, or maybe even a year to get there, but it started. So this is one of the indicators of the inflation and the consumer price index. So supply chain recessions. I wanted to understand how closely does the chips, oil, ships, and rail, trucks and planes affect the supply chain and potentially cause a recession. Now, as you heard in my video, I didn't mean for that to rhyme, but it did. It did rhyme. So this is a full stack economics. Put this slide together, and you showed it briefly before. And as you can see, the final straw that breaks the camel's back is energy. That's the final straw, right? 1973, gas prices, oil, energy spikes, recession. 1980, another spike, another recession. 81, another recession. 1990, another recession. The only recession that was abnormal was the 2020 recession, because that was caused by the pandemic, not because of anything leading to normal conditions, too much money printing, not enough supply. It was caused because we just shut the economy down. That's what it was caused by. And now we have the Russia-Ukraine deal that's happening to us. And what I just found out, and I'll share this with you here in a bit, that the wiring harnesses that are used in many of the vehicles, 50% of them are made in Ukraine. I mean, not 50%, but a large percentage of them are made in Ukraine.
Right. And I'm now listening for wire harness. I heard Mexico today.
Yeah. They're part of the domino. They're in the chain, right? If they don't get the raw materials they need because they're sitting on a boat, can't leave the port of, or not even getting on the boat in China, because that's where the majority of the world supply comes from, we can't finish the job. We can't complete it. However, here's the good news. Because we went through some of the struggles and challenges we had for the last couple of years, the biggest concern that, and you guys on your show have talked about, is how do we take care of that consumer that was in the upper leg? Remember the K recovery economy I showed you guys, right? The upper leg, the lower leg of the K. Well, the upper leg. How do we take care of those people that were in that lower slice of the upper leg that are now in the lower leg because through no fault of their own, they lost their jobs, they lost their businesses, they couldn't keep their homes through no fault of their own? What would we as an industry, as a country, could we do to help that? Well, because of the forbearance programs, because of the possible accommodations list, those people didn't really have an impact on their credit scores. As you can see here, The near prime customer, now let me back up. Pre-pandemic, a near prime customer was below 650. A prime customer was 650 plus. Now, a near prime customer is 650 or less. So by doing nothing but managing and maintaining your current bills and status, you dropped into a near prime category because the scorecards changed. The lenders changed for what they expect to happen. There's a higher risk if you're in this category of actually going bankrupt or declaring financial loss because you're in this near prime category now. But the interest rates, and this is what I want to point out, 68.41 is the average loan term these people finance for a pre-owned car, 68 months, just under 7 years. So imagine a 3-year-old car, right, Ty? Right? Okay, to finance a 3-year-old car, and it's 10 years old before you pay it off.
Oh,
right?
wow.
These people got it. These people got it, near prime. And what's their rate? 9.8%. That's still not a bad rate for that kind of extended term. So
that's crazy. Is that that's real?
That's real.
No joke.
They're
financing how many year-old cars for 68 months? You just said, really? How old are these cars?
With the right kind of credit, you can finance a 3 or 4 year old vehicle with the right kind of mileage for up to 72 months.
Wow.
Credit, so right kind of lender.
Yeah, sorry, I keep going. I can get so off track on that, but sorry.
So you remember how I talked about alternative resources for credit, right? You got to look at behavioral statistics and alternative payment plan. Payments like rent. How well did you pay your rent? How often do you pay your cell phone bill on time? Your power bill. All of that kind of information should be counted towards credit. So about 50% of all lenders and financial institutions are doing that today, and it's evidence in this slide that I'm sharing with you. I expect some more changes because of the fintech companies that I've been working with that are breaking a traditional finance model that's been around for several hundred years. I mean, they're absolutely disrupting that part of the business. That's Bank of America and Chase, man, don't know how to deal with it right now.
So if you got a second, I want to hear just a quick brief. How do you? So fintech, first of all, tell everybody so everybody knows what fintech is, right?
So financial startup, right? Fintech is the financial startup in the financial technologies as a startup. Fintech. Think of SoFi. Are you familiar with SoFi?
Go ahead and tell us. I am, but probably nobody else.
SoFi is an app you put on your cell phone.
Yep.
And it's a banking app. You could do anything and everything you want, including investing or whatnot. The bank is not on the street corner anymore. It's on your phone.
Yeah.
And any good software provider can develop an app, and now they're a fintech partner, right?
Okay.
I got some fintech partners that are financing, 16-year-old vehicles for 2 years.
So how do they do that?
They're very well funded, first of all.
Okay.
And they look at the character that makes up a person's ability to pay, not just their credit score.
Okay.
The characters, how long you've lived where you live. You've lived at this address and you've been paying $600 a month for 10 years, but you don't have a beacon score or a good credit score because you don't use a credit card. You pay your bills in cash, right?
Okay.
You have no other forms of debt because you really can't afford debt. You pay as you go.
So that's the disruption. They're putting people in cars that traditionally can't get into a car.
They're called unbanked.
Yeah.
And about 35, depending on the analyst, is 30 to 40% of the country is unbanked. They don't have access. They don't have a standard check in their savings.
Wow.
Right?
That's a stat.
So you'll see this drastically change in the next couple of years because the market will require it. It will require it. The consumers will demand it. So in a blog I did in pre-NADA, I talked about the decline of the available 0 to 2 year old inventory and the 2 to 6 year old inventory, how that's just being bought up, right? And there's just not a lot of that available. And I said the 6 year plus vehicle was going to go up in value. I was off by 2 years. I was completely wrong. It's actually the 8 to 16 year old vehicles with decent miles and good auto check and Carfax reports. They're ringing the bell. That's the orange line you see right here. So we've added this orange line of 8 to 16 year old vehicles. Now, let me back up. I went the wrong way. So here's the catch-22. Where do you find that 8 to 16 year old vehicle?
Yeah.
If they're running through the lane, you don't want to buy it.
Exactly.
Let me put it that way.
I know where you find it, at the auction.
So the
I thought it was the driveway. It's not the driveway?
It is the
It's
driveway.
the driveway.
You don't want the one in the auction, though.
Right.
That's the one at the auction you don't want. You want Paul's. Paul's going to tell us where to find the good one, right, Paul?
That's right. The latest stats is 280 million vehicles are operating on the road today, give or take, and the average age is 12 years of age. So those, so let's just say half, right? Just half the inventory is 12 years of age. What do those people need? They need good service. If they're going to keep that vehicle because of what's coming, they want to service and keep that vehicle running well. So as an industry, as a dealer, or as a SaaS provider, how are you helping your dealer be able to say, hey, Ty, I want to service your 2004 Lexus GX450 with 200,000 miles on it. And when I give you your estimate, I know it's going to be a $3,000 repair bill to get it all right, but you don't have the money to pay for it. But I want your service. I need to give you a way to pay for it. It's called buy now, pay later. That is absolutely disrupting the traditional finance model. What if you can get instantly approved for up to $5,000 to be able to make a decision? Ty, you can either spend that $5,000 to fix your car, and you can continue driving and pay as you go at a very, very good rate, or you can use that $5,000 you just got approved for, trade in your vehicle, and I'll get you a like new vehicle.
CPO.
Certified pre-owned. Imagine, because here's the key. Majority of franchise dealers are not servicing the 6, 7, 8+ year old vehicles at a aggressive clip. They're just not doing it. That's the reason why there's 4 or 5 service departments all around them, minimum. In a 25 square mile radius, you find dozens of independent repair shops servicing those vehicles a dealer should be servicing.
Yeah.
But they're not going after it. What if they had those kind of programs? That's a part of the disruptive model. So how do you stop runaway inflation? You have a recession. That's how you stop it. It's been done 7 times since 1973. High inflation, recession stops it. What's going to come out of this recession? How do we get out of this recession super fast? Disruptive technologies. Because people are like, you know what, I'm fed up. I want to find something better and different to do things. And that's what I'm excited about. I've already mentioned a few technology partners that can do that. Pricing at the auctions. This is our 2 to 6 year old. I have to tell it, and every week I get dealers call me, bro, I just appraised this vehicle and you're way out of market. I'm like, why do you say that? Well, I just don't think it's going to do that. All right, okay, why do you say that? I don't think. You mean you don't feel? There's a difference between facts and feelings, right?
Yeah.
So the purple line was a high of 151% wholesale valuation in January. So 14 weeks in, we're about 90% of that high number. So if a car was 10 grand in January 2021, it was now worth 15 grand in January 2022. Today it's worth 14.
Say that again, I'm sorry.
A vehicle that was worth 10 grand in January 2021 was worth 15 grand in January 2022. Today, that same vehicle, it's about 14. Because it's depreciated from that high at the beginning of the year. I'm like, think, we enter the year at this level, at high plateau. We're not starting here. We're starting from here.
Yeah.
So how do you, again, how do we?
All right, I just want to say on this graph, riddle me this, these lines, by the time you reach the end, no matter where you are, you start at 1 again on the next year, right?
Right, but that one represents what it was at the end of the year.
But when you look at it, like 2019 was pretty stable, but 2020 got a little wicked. 2021 went crazy, and now 2022 we're coming off a little bit from that crazy. Is that right?
Correct. But it's from a high of 151.
Right.
It didn't go back to 10 grand. That's an example. It did not go back to 10,000 in January 2021. Right. It starts at that dip is from 15,000 in this example that I'm using. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you for pointing that. I mean, really taking the time. That helps. Thank you.
Where do you find that inventory and not have to overpay? The driveway and your service lane. Brian Kramer, who's going to be coming on here, he'll do a phenomenal job explaining why he's been doing that. This is our used retail prices. What I am so excited about this is through 2021, we had a negative margin compression, which means I had to pay 150% wholesale to buy this car, but I can only mark it up 130%. So I paid 20% more wholesale wise that I could actually list the car for. Yes, I still made a profit, but a profit, there's more profit to be made. So right now, the green line, as you see right here, we're about 98%. I think this week is 99%. We went back and we are now retaining 99% of what we entered the year at, which is 136% retail. Does that make sense?
And that explains why the margins are still very high, even with limited inventory.
Right, because I can still ask the high price and I'm still buying I can now buy cars for less money. So my negative margin compression is getting less and less and less.
Nice.
And the best way to help a dealer get that inventory, help them get to the driveway, help them buy that vehicle through the service department. Because consumers, when this thing really gets off the rails, again, there's average age of the vehicle's 12 years old in the marketplace. They don't know what their car is worth. And if you could be the savior, say, I want to buy your car, I want to pay you $5 grand for your 12-year-old vehicle, you just may have given that person in your neighborhood 3-4 months worth of living time. Because they don't need that car right now, but you do. This is our national listings, and this is why I encourage that. We started the year with 16% fewer retail listings, and we're holding the line. We're about 14% fewer retail listings than we were at the beginning of the year.
So I'm sorry to interrupt you, but explain that. When you say fewer retail listings, are you talking about the Car Gurus, the Auto Trader, where do you get that?
No, this is retail listings as reported, because we look at over 16,600 franchise dealer websites, and we look at over 50 some odd thousand independent websites. We don't go to anyone else. And then we dedupe that data. So, Rick Hendrick, 100 dealerships, one used vehicles in one market, it shows up in every dealership, right? So it might count 10 times. So if you include all the other providers, you're counting the same VIN number multiple times.
And that number's reduced.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So when you count one VIN, one listing, we entered the new year with 16% fewer listings available for sale in January. We've picked up 2 percentage points. We're about 14% fewer listings. So we've got a little bit more inventory. But here's the challenge. We already discussed the supply chain challenges that we know what's coming. We know parts are going to be limited. We know that we're not going to get new vehicle inventory. Something I didn't talk about, what happens when the market does turn around in 2023 or 2024, and the dealer's now getting delivery of brand new 2021s, brand new 2022, and brand new 2024.
They finally got their chips, right?
In 2024. In 2024, I got my new 2020. But I've been waiting.
I was, Jason Rice and I were talking about this a couple weeks ago. He was in a dealership's lot. 2022, just a few weeks ago, got picked up his 2021. Took 9 months to get it. That was a 9-month order.
So are dealerships going to be stuffed with cars again in a few years?
No, I think what will happen is the factories will have some really aggressive strategies for incentives to help move those vehicles. So that's called planning, right? If you want to take advantage of buying a brand new 2021, 2022, or 2023, and you don't need to buy a car today, don't. But if you need a vehicle, you want to buy a vehicle, you got great rates and great interest, great prices right now, because they're only going to go higher later. So it's kind of a catch-22. When you look at all this data, you have to realize, what's my strategy? How can I improve? Well, the very first thing, you have to embrace disruptive technologies. From fintech startups, Brian Kramer is going to talk about using the Metaverse, and what he's been doing there, phenomenal work in that category. Sourcing inventory directly from John Q. Public. More and more dealers are trying to get into it, still don't understand how to do it properly. They don't realize that they can give a check writing number and feel good about it. I mean, look at what CarMax did last quarter. Purchased over, was it 300,000 units directly from John Q. Public?
In a quarter.
In 1 quarter.
Yeah. See, I think I heard that number, and I couldn't believe it. I was trying to tell Jay, I'm like, does that equal 1,500 a day before noon or 15,000 a day before noon? Either way, that's a lot.
I used to be that guy, 1997 at the auction, that all my GM buddies said, "You went to work for CarMax? You'll be looking for a job soon." Now look at what they're doing.
Whoa, it's crazy.
Right? Technology disruption will stop the next recession. We just
technology. I want to say that again. Say that again. Technology disruption will stop the recession.
Will stop the recession.
Okay. Technology disruption will stop the recession. All right. I like it.
Yep. So I'm not discouraged.
But will there be some people? So one of the things I wonder about as I see all the tech, will there be some people that feel left behind because technology fixed the problem instead of a human being?
Mm-hmm. Think about, let's see, Kodak, for instance. Kodak's a really great example. They didn't adapt to the digital photos quickly.
Kodak. Oh yeah, Kodak. Yeah, that's right. Okay, or Blockbuster. Right.
What happened to Netflix?
Oh,
no, I'm just kidding.
That one still stings.
Yeah, Blockbuster.
Speaking of, before went to Blockbuster and said, "You want to buy us?"
This is a perfect time to. So Brian, why don't you go ahead and introduce Brian, and then we'll bring him in, please.
All right. So I'm incredibly pleased to introduce you to an incredible entrepreneur and a futurist thought leader in the automotive vertical. He sold, I'd be willing to put money on it, that he sold the very first vehicle in the world completely through the Metaverse. If you've ever watched the movie Ready Player One, talk about living your life completely online, this is it. That's why Mark Zuckerberg changed the name of Facebook to Metaverse. It's just the beginning, except the adoption of this technology will accelerate in the next 2 years like we've never seen any technology be adopted before.
Wow. What an introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, his first time on ATI. Go ahead, and I'm on camera 1 here, and you're jumping in the live chat while Brian gets ready. We're so lucky to have, first time on ATI, the Car Shipping Business Channel, Brian Kramer is the GM of Germain Toyota of Naples. Brian, can you see me and hear me okay? Oh, his audio's not up. Yeah, you got your mute. Curtis,
how about now? Does it work? You got me now?
Now your volume's a little high. Do you have your slider handy?
Yep.
Oh, perfect. Oh, well, you've got
There we go.
he's got a professional microphone set up. Perfect.
You have him
Okay. Brian, please say hello and tell us a little more about you.
I appreciate you guys having me on. I've been in the car business for almost 3 decades and started off as a lot porter at an Oldsmobile store, and worked at some private, public dealerships, mostly the Germains and Auto Nation. And I'm down in Naples, Florida, living down in paradise, and just having a lot of fun.
All right, perfect. So, Paul told us more about Metaverse, right? We're just gonna go ahead and like I said, I'm gonna wrap my arms around
Let's cannonball it.
Right, exactly. Because the Metaverse is, well, it's got a little bit of bad press lately, so people are confused, right? Straighten us out. How do you
So
see
it's
the
extremely
Metaverse? Yeah.
confusing.
Yeah.
Especially if you try to find it, it's like the phone booth in the Matrix. It's not like there's a clear path to like get into it, So it's like this. If anybody wants to check it out, it's try like www.decentralized.org. That's how I started out, but it blends cryptocurrency. You've got to get all these logins, and the barrier to entry is really complicated right now. That's going to get removed, I think, in the next year or so, and it won't be. It's kind of like the internet was at the beginning, right? You had to like type in C prompt codes and all that stuff, and it was just a bunch of people in their basement barricaded somewhere, and then it became mainstream. And
You described it really well. That's right. Because it's kind of like when the internet for like 10 years, you need to go to www dot, and after a while I'm like, is there any other dot to go to? Right.
Before Google, before Yahoo, or whatever all the other stuff was
or
at the time.
Bing or Netcrawler,
CompuServe,
AOL. Yeah.
So that's kind of where the metaverse is right now. But it's like a 3-dimensional internet, and instead of having search engine marketing on Google and you paying for it, you're buying real estate in there for like drive-by traffic. It's like everything comes full circle. But you don't have to have goggles and bumping into walls and.
I just shared. I never heard of decentralized.org. So I just put it in the live chat. And honestly, I love that we're talking about this because, again, I don't even know if I've missed the crypto train.
No, well, I'll tell you, that's how I got into the metaverse. Was one of my sales managers was huge into crypto, and I told him it was a distraction. And, he sat me down or whatever, and he showed me his portfolio, and it was like 7 figures. And I'm like, wait, what are you doing? And, he's like 15 years, 20 years younger than me. So I said, and then Wendell Hardy, who's my GSM, who's a few years older than me, he goes, and check this out. I'm like, wait, where the hell have I been the whole time? So
that's what I'm starting to feel like. Even with the stonks and the GM, what are you doing over there, Ty, with your super stonks?
Yeah, but okay, so Paul, say it again. What did you say? Technology will be the disruptor of the recession. Is that how you said that? Okay, let's listen, Brian.
I agree. And it'll disrupt some things. Well, it's kind of like toll booths, right? In Florida, toll booths used to be everywhere. It's not like anybody was having a good time sitting in a toll booth, but it allowed, SunPass got rid of that job, but it created new jobs. And the technology will create jobs that didn't exist. And grocery stores are having issues, but it creates jobs with DoorDash and Grubhub and all this different stuff that we haven't even thought of yet. I was on a call the other day, and somebody said that by the time my kids, my daughters are 14 and 10, by the time they're out of college, they said 70% of the jobs they don't currently exist today. And whatever it's going to be, similar to when I graduated from high school, all my friends went to college to go learn newspaper marketing, and they were about 4 years early, and then all of a sudden their jobs were obsolete. And it's kind of like where we're at with this. It's going to create a whole new economy. But the whole metaverse sits on a blockchain, which is basically like a big Carfax, but you can't get around it, and you can't have your buddy that doesn't report to Carfax. It's the only way to do it. So anything over $10,000 is going to get registered, reported on it. Jewelry, watches, guns, everything. So that I think will also fix. Well, I won't say fix it. It's going to completely decentralize logistics and transport. Because right now you've got central dispatch, you've got a few kind of like Google, Facebook, whoever, whatever those Amazon. That's centralized, right? They control everything. The beauty of the metaverse is that it's decentralized. They won't have that level of control, which is why I think Facebook went to Meta. And you'll have IoT, Internet of Things technology. So anybody wants to flip on their transponder, it will communicate with each other instead of having to go to a centralized hub. Person driving next to a business that needs something shipped is going to be able to communicate directly with them. You won't have to go through a centralized anything. You won't have to, like we have lots of times, guests that are getting transported 30 minutes to one part of town. We've got a wholesale part that's going to that side of town, but instead we send a wholesale truck in a whole different direction, and then they're both going the same way to the same destination, and we're not leveraging that because the vehicles and the objects don't communicate with each other. Mm-hmm. So I think that's the technology revolution. That's the metaverse is just a three-dimensional internet.
So
the stuff that runs it is the real juice.
I think this is where I get confused. The metaverse is not real, though. I mean, like, I can't ship a car using that metaverse, can I? I mean, I can't.
You can.
What?
So that's
he sold a car on Metaverse. Are you kidding me?
A physical.
First guy to ever sell a physical car on Metaverse. You don't think that we can transport a car on Metaverse, Jay? Are you not paying attention?
Where are you?
Come on.
We could be
going
sitting here having this thing with our avatars in a virtual environment at McDonald's in this Decentraland, and then order food. It'll show up at your house in the real world. That's the.
Oh.
Hey, you okay, Jay?
Okay, well, I think I just broke a wire. All right, keep going. That's crazy. What?
It's like Johnny Mnemonic.
Food in the metaverse. That is crazy.
And that's how we sold that car. It was a digital twin of the laptop inside of a virtual conference room. Some people had goggles on, so we're going to do one tomorrow morning. But
see, I didn't catch that either. Okay, so tell us. Okay,
wait. If we're going to do one tomorrow, I want to see it. Where's the link?
Yeah.
I got to make sure it's cool with the customer. If so, we'll stream it live.
Yeah.
He's an employee.
You're on LinkedIn,
so,
right? Would you put it on LinkedIn? Okay, yeah, because I see you on LinkedIn all the time. Thanks, by the way, for coming on here. It's really cool.
Yeah, Brian.
No, I love you guys' energy.
Man.
Yeah. It's
really
fun.
Appreciate it. No, this is great. So what is? All right, so you don't have to wear goggles or mittens? I don't know. Where are you when you do this?
Now someday, well, actually, it's pretty much now. It's just too expensive. You can wear haptic gloves, and you can feel steering wheel. We haven't had a Tundra, Sienna, Rav4, Venza to drive in a year, so we're working on this thing with NVIDIA to be able to do a virtual where you feel the resistance of it, where our technicians can use augmented reality goggles to see. So it's kind of like Tony Stark Iron Man stuff. So they can use a torque wrench, torque it to 12, 15, 18, and they'll feel the resistance like a real torque wrench. Or as long as it's laid out in a certain sequence on the tool bench, they can grab it, even though it's a digital twin, they call it. They're actually grabbing, like I'm typing on the real keyboard. You're using it, although it doesn't look like it, and you're torquing a whatever bolt.
So they're physically in your dealership wearing the gloves and the goggles, right?
Yeah.
But in the future, they could be at home. They could, right?
Yeah, we had on the one we did. 3 people were one guy was in Philadelphia, one guy was in Tampa, that just wanted to watch it. So they were like spectators in the back of the virtual conference room.
Who had the Acura? I saw a Metaverse Acura, and I actually watched the whole video, and I was like, wow, talk about marketing and branding. There's a lot of opportunity there. Is that right, Brian?
And it's totally underground. So that's actually when you get in there with, I'm twice the age of most everybody in there, but those crypto punks, it's you got to find
crypto punks.
You got to find the coordinates
I saw
to those
Boba
places, right? Well, hey, there's some people dressed like him in there. I mean, there's some very weird stuff going on in there.
So I'm sorry, what were you saying? You said what now?
So you've got to get the coordinates to wherever that is because it's not all laid out in the map because a lot of these big companies are beta testing stuff in there. So that's what they say a lot of the stuff in the metaverse is going to be is why build a big building? Why not see how people interact and how it flows before you actually have construction or see, how people define a space before you build it, physically in the real world. That one time when they were giving away an NFT of the Integra, there was another time and they announced it for an NFT of this gold puffy jacket. There was 500,000 people.
That was it. Yeah, that was it. So NFT.
I heard about
anybody
the
that
gold
doesn't
puffy
know,
jacket. Yeah,
it's
yeah, exactly. What's in it? What is NFT? Yeah, non-fungible token. What does that mean?
Yeah.
This took me a while to wrap my mind around because especially how much people are paying for them. But
Yeah.
so non-fungible. So I just learned this last night. But a fungible token is something that can just, like shoes. You can buy a limitless amount. You can order them. They're going to keep making more of them. But when like Nike does a run of 100 or 1,000 of a certain one, that's non-fungible. That's only a certain limited amount. So basically, an NFT is a non-fungible token. It's basically a limited edition. Then that's all there's going to be.
But is it physical or digital, or where is it?
So it's
Right?
digital.
It's digital.
It's digital. There could be artwork. I just figured out how to make one of these because I'm trying to do some for the dealership. So you got to get a 3D visual artist that can make the thing, right? Then you've got to lay in a smart contract, which is blockchain basically. In order, because it's like a multi-level marketing deal where you give some to the creator. It's like a royalty, if you will, like a baseball card basically, but then each person that buys it afterward gets a piece of it pretty much in perpetuity, like a royalty every time the thing's sold. So if somebody's more creative and it ends up scaling but I mean, they own it. So you can't put it on YouTube. They can use it however they want, or they can just, like a piece of artwork in an oil painting, they can just park it somewhere and nobody can ever see it again. The thing is, it's all about perception because it makes no sense. But how much sense does it make buying some Monet that's just an oil and some canvas?
Intense, man.
And it's just the perception of what it's worth. I mean, it's just, just an old piece of canvas with a bunch of oil on it. And somebody else deemed that's, amazing. And it's typically after somebody died, but who's to say if it is or it isn't? I'm not an art collector, but it's fascinating to me the hype and
It's like
adrenaline rush.
Banksy 10X.
That's exactly what it's like.
Well, and I think there's something else to this too. And this goes back to what I was talking about earlier. It's not really Democrat or Republican. It's everybody's tired of both of them, and we've had enough. And this decentralization that Brian's talking about is saying we've had enough of you in our lives, taking our money, making us hate each other. So here's the new solution. Is that fair?
That's dead on. And they can't print more money because everything is so transparent. It's going to increase the accountability of everything just in such a way, the VIN numbers are going to become NFTs that will sit on the blockchain. and then Paul won't just have access to all the data. We'll all have it to see the history, who owned the vehicle prior, everything on a ledger.
Yeah, and this probably spooks some big corporations. Whoa. I would assume. Is that fair to say, Brian?
Oh, hell yeah.
People really don't say, like, maybe some big Chase banks, Bank of America's, those guys. They probably don't like this idea, right?
So Chase is in there. Chase came in there with a different name. It's called I forget what it is. It's got a tiger and it's got a big picture of Jamie Dimon. It's called Onyx. So when you're in there, but none of this stuff is on a map anywhere. But you've got Samsung in there. You've got Chase in there. You've got Nike. Nike's in there under Artifact. But they paid as much in the brand Artifact, which is just as, it's like a year old, is just as valuable as the Air Jordan. So it's Nike, Jordan, Artifact. That level of value. You've got some other you got Heineken just released their new beer in there. They have a huge stadium brewery.
Yeah, I heard about that. Hey, Tim Scoutelas is here, by the way. I thought it's since we're tripping out, right?
No, man, I'm in the metaverse, dude.
What's up, Tim?
It looks like Neo in the Matrix.
Hold on, I'm just about to finish buying an iPhone 17 in the metaverse.
Dude.
So awesome.
No,
man.
really,
Perfect.
it's really good stuff.
I just
Good to see you.
Oh.
wow. That's amazing. Well done, Tim. For a second, I thought we were in like Back to the Future 5,
Oh, man.
the Metaverse.
Moving
Now we're
ATI
back.
to the metaverse.
Wow. This is okay. So I want to ask you this. So where do you go to get in the Metaverse?
That's one of the toughest things that everybody asks, and it's so there's augmented reality, AR, there's VR, virtual reality, and you can use either one in there, but Decentraland's one. There's
Okay.
another one called the Sandbox.
Yeah,
That's
I heard
where
about
Snoop
that one,
Dogg's
too.
at,
Okay. The Sandbox. Okay.
and that one looks like a bunch of Lego characters.
Okay. So is there overlap between these locations when you enter? Like, will I
So-
find the artifact in Decentraland and the Sandbox?
So that's a good question. So there's companies that haven't gone
Skye.
public yet. So so there's this company called Ready Player Me that's building these avatars that you can jump from one metaverse to the next metaverse. Build an avatar, you buy that artifact clothing so you can take it from game to game. It'd be like going from Call of Duty into Grand Theft Auto with the same gear.
Ooh, that's a great analogy. As a matter of fact, because that totally makes sense.
Yeah.
And I tell you, I've been it's called Level Up Arena, and it's this what do they call it? Not internet cafe, but it's the next level. It's the arcade of now, right? So it's just have you seen?
No, but that's you're describing
Right.
these spaces. It's probably they'll connect that into this pipeline.
Exactly.
Basically.
Level Up Arena has like probably 60 desktops all connected to the internet just sitting next to each other. And then on the periphery is all the other game systems. So you can go from PlayStation to I don't even have that. They even have an old school Atari sitting there by like an old TV. But you can play whatever system you want and you're all in one physical space. But then, go to the next level where you're not even really...
You're in one virtual space.
Yeah, in one virtual space. Wow.
It's very similar to what you just described.
Okay. It's like, that's just the intermediary before you... And Ready Player One is a great example because when you see Ready Player One, you can kind of understand where this is all going in a metaverse situation. Which makes that movie pretty brilliant.
Oh, it's way ahead of its time. I didn't realize it. I didn't appreciate it at the time. But right now we're working on. I'm going to visit Toyota next month to work on the project with them. But I mean, there's so many. I mean, Acura really nailed it with that showroom that they did. I mean, there's old school '80s arcade games in there, like NSXs. And I mean, just it's cool.
It was cool.
Hey,
And you got to go through that on the
Acura had to
scavenger hunt to win that stuff. The
Acura had to get
NFTs.
something right eventually, right?
Oh!
I'm saying, dude,
Holy cow.
Paul just said that technology's gonna, to end the recession.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking like, okay, I can understand what Paul said now because just this short conversation with Brian, I've laughed enough to not care about the recession. So laughter's good. I say we just stay in the metaverse and let the recession happen. And when it's done, give me a call.
Come back out.
I am curious to know, Brian, what are you seeing from, I don't know if we cut Paul's presentation off. If we did, sorry, Paul, but Brian, what are you seeing in your world? besides
in terms
Metaverse?
of a ton with used car acquisition. You know, to echo what Paul's talking about, there's more than we basically the same thing that's going on in the metaverse from 4G to 5G. We need to do the same thing with just empowering the customers and decentralizing appraisals. I mean, we've allowed customers to appraise their own cars now, and we find that, and we let salespeople, some of them, well, most of them, you know, straight from a Starbucks or something like that, they appraise the cars, and the margin of error, you know, people are going to make mistakes. Used car managers are going to make mistakes, but when you trust the customer and you give them, which is against everything I've ever been trained or about, you know,
Yep.
but they're actually pretty transparent. They're honest, and if you trust them, they'll trust you, and they don't sit there and guard themselves. And they're actually honest. It's typically because we say, well, here, what do you want to be? What do you think it's worth? You know, what research have you done? They're not going to tell us that if we don't have any rapport with them, or they're going to lowball us, and then we think they're crazy, and then we seek pop and tell everybody how crazy these people are instead of just letting them do that. And then it's fascinating to me and then they'll say, well, here, let's see what my other car is worth. And when you give them control, you gain so much more control.
You know, Brian, I've been on this channel with Jay and Ty a couple times, and I've used the word truth and transparency. And in the comments, people will like, dealers, truth, transparency. Like, I've, you know, seen your business grow. I've been through your dealership, beautiful place there. My dad lives in Naples. I mean, you are truth and transparency down there, right? I mean, you live, eat, and breathe it, right?
We do. And,
yeah.
And now the competitors, some of those salespeople even send their customers over to get the cars appraised, like they do to CarMax.
Yeah. So I started at CarMax back in the late 90s. Yeah, we used to have to like fire salespeople because dealers would pay salespeople on the side before CarMax paid salespeople. They would pay them $50 or $100. Hey, I'm going to send my guy over there. Don't try and sell him anything. Just let him sell the car to CarMax. Meanwhile, we would never. It didn't matter. But it's crazy. I'm sure it's happening to you all the time.
Well, imagine how many cars of the 324,000 were sent to the CarMax by other salespeople from other dealerships.
Right.
We're talking about how many they're buying. How many of them did a salesperson from a store that wasn't transparent, did they say, here, just go over there and see what you can get? And all of a sudden now, where are all these trades gone? You know, we're selling this many cars, but we're only taking in half the trades.
Right.
I need to pause for just a second. Skye Haulman showed up, and I don't think we've introduced him or said hello.
I know, we were rolling. We were rolling, bro.
I'm absorbing, and
I what's up, Skye? Thanks for taking
not like
time,
Tim
buddy.
in the Matrix. That was, you know, that was
Tim,
pretty cool.
That was awesome.
But thanks guys. Thanks for having me on. Nice to meet you virtually, Brian. And likewise, nice to be on here to see familiar faces. Thank you guys.
Yeah. So Skye's I would consider Skye to possibly be a disruptor. Skye's created a platform that enables dealers to find the cars that they need through all of the existing auctions. Is that a good way to say that, Brian?
Yeah, absolutely.
One auction view?
Yes,
One
sir.
auction view. Yeah, it's a pretty cool product. Product platform. Am I saying it right, Skye?
Yeah, product platform, SaaS, whatever. I mean,
So it's you use some cool word. You're the guy that I love to hear because you always say I'm agnostic. I love that. Tell us real quick.
transparency. I love that when you guys talk about that transparency, agnostic, being in the middle. I think that's important in our industry. That's typically has not been that way. So I think
Jay and I talk about this occasionally. Actually, it's been a new topic for me because if Paul's saying new cars are maybe not going to be here, used cars prices are still high. If I'm a dealer, this actually came up at Automotive Intelligence Summit. This came up Dan or Don, I can't remember his name. I'm sorry. This guy said, if I'm a dealer, Skye, I thought of you immediately. I thought, if I'm a dealer and I need inventory, used inventory, where do I get it? And all of a sudden there's this whole, there's how many apps, how many platforms, how many auctions, I mean, there's I mean, Tim helps dealers find cars in driveways, right, Tim?
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of places for both consumers to go and for dealers to go. There's no lack of trying to find unique avenues to source inventory or to sell your car today if you're a dealer, if you're a customer.
Yeah.
But
That's
not
why
everybody goes there.
Tim, your video, that you may have done more than one, but I remember one video where you were going through the different sell your car apps. That was an awesome video, man.
And I'm going to need to update that. I'm going to head to the Metaverse, see what I can get for my Sequoia. Hold on. Let me go right now. I'll be right back.
Oh, there he goes.
But anyway, so Skye, I was thinking about Skye a lot last week because I would, and I don't know, Brian or Tim, if you guys are running into this, but it would seem like, man, I'm overwhelmed with options to find cars, but I really just need a car for my
So
lot.
what I find is that a lot of us overcomplicate it, and we don't just pay up for. We try to see, well, what if we can get it for a little bit less, and then end up, paying a lot more, through Skye to acquire the car. Yeah, that we should have just stepped up on, and then we don't have anything, and then we start panic buying, and it's just a consistent, simple model. We've got so many people coming through all the time, and we try to. Are they looking for another car? Are they trading something in? I mean, it doesn't matter.
So I have another silly question for you, Brian. You seem like kind of guy, like I like what you just said a lot. That makes a lot of sense to me. So is it okay for me to ask you, do you pretty much buy used car inventory from pretty much the same, say 3 to 6 places?
I actually only buy it from one place. I haven't bought a car at the auction in 4 years.
So what's the one place, if it's okay to ask?
Our dealership. So from our customers.
My number one strategy.
So wow. So that's real. Did you guys hear that? Now, if I'm a transport guy.
Whoa, yeah.
What have we been talking about on this channel for like 2.5 years?
You guys, I'm telling you, I'm slow and I'm old, man. I'm not ready for this.
I would say that shipping and logistics is going to be the most secure job in the metaverse and beyond. There's going to be, in my humble opinion, the biggest distribution between the haves and the have-nots from a acquiring and I'm still shipping cars all over the country that I'm retailing.
Retail.
Naples, Tim knows we get the cleanest trades around with because nobody really leaves our little bubble. So we're shipping cars, shipped one to Oregon the other day, shipped one to Colorado. We're shipping them all over these late model, low mileage trades that are really desirable.
Okay.
And I think, go ahead.
Have you had for transport, this is a logistics transports company channel, have you had any one of them come to you and say, I really want to have your lion's share of their business and this is what I'm going to do for you?
Yes and no. Southeast Toyota controls it on the new car side. We have definitely had 2 or 3 that have approached us on the used car side, but I've got one person that handles it. So there hasn't been there's got to be a simple way for accounting and the corporate side of things in order to make it simple. And I really, not the metaverse, everything's a virtual reality and goggles, but Internet of Things, blockchain is going to decentralize that whole deal, I think, to make it significantly more simple so that, anybody who's driving a truck, it's just going to be able to self-invoice, QR codes. There needs to be a common language between somebody watching this video. That's the biggest need in the business, is a common language between everything so that you can go in with a QR code. It'll go into a central system that'll self-invoice, integrate into all the complicated tech stack that we have at a dealership to make it easy for accounting, make it easy for the managers, and so that people don't have to think about it. So it's really frictionless. The way that acquiring cars should be, the way that dispositioning cars should be. It's still, and it's going to come in the next 2 or 3 years. Hopefully somebody watching this video will build it, but it's,
so that's what technology's always out there to do, right, Brian, is to minimize friction. And car dealers have, for as long as I've been in the business, we've taken two steps forward, one step back to improve the process, but then it's like, oh, well, wait a minute, hold on. And I think we've kind of maybe taken a step back, arguably,
Absolutely,
over the
we
last 18
have.
to 24 months. The majority of dealers, there's guys on the leading edge like yourself, but I don't disagree. You know, somebody's going to have to bring it all together. Maybe there's 2 or 3 of them. I don't know, but I think you're spot on there.
Keep your ears down, listen, and watch. There's some technology disruptors out there there's some stuff shaking right now.
There needs to be a Rosetta Stone, so everybody says that is speaking the same language.
Yeah. Amen to that.
That's good stuff. Okay, so I think as far as recession goes,
Mike, I'm overheated on processing over here. And I want to say this is that I'm trying to think through the need for centralization, but the desire to decentralize.
Okay.
Am I wrong?
No. You're dead right.
Okay.
So it's counterintuitive. So in order to decentralize things, picture, for instance, our appraisal process at the store level. There was only X amount of appraisals that we could get through, and right after COVID, we had so many sales managers. They were off a week, on a week. So I told them, I said, we got to figure out some way to decentralize this. And everybody's come up with all these complicated schedules. And what if we did this? What if we did that? And I told Wendell Hardhager, you know what I'm thinking? He goes, oh, no. And I said, let's just let the salespeople do it. That's the ultimate decentralization. And he's like, well, there's so many things and training and this and that. I go, let's just write it all down. What's the worst possible outcome? Because right now it's not an efficient process. There's an hourglass, and the top is all the people that have a trade that they want to get rid of and get paid too much, more than it's worth. And then at the bottom of this hourglass, there's all the consumers that want one, which is what Skye does, is he tries to pair the top hourglass with the bottom hourglass, but you got that little neck in the middle. That's our antiquated process in the industry. And it won't only let a few grains of sand through there.
Nice.
So decentralization opens that up. So now we've got all the salespeople with iPads and OBD tools appraising their own cars anywhere. We've had people buy cars in the Publix parking lot. We've had people out in the parking lot appraising one car and appraise the spouse's car. That's another make that the dealership's across the street, and we buy it. We bought cars. I also managed the Lincoln store. We bought Lincolns at the Toyota store because of the process that they never got to that point at the Lincoln store. And next thing you know, there's a 2021 Aviator over there. It makes no sense. But they won the trade just because they just threw out a number, and they're just playing the odds like CarMax does. And they give them a number, and then you make a decision or you don't. And I'm going to appraise 10 cars right behind that. But by the volume of the law of abundance instead of law of scarcity and worrying about risk aversion, making a mistake,
Right.
you decentralize. You got an army of appraisers out there. And
This is Chip Perry's A2Z sync.
It is easy.
This is I'm not saying that's what you're saying, Brian, but I am saying I was at Auto Intel Summit, and this Chip Perry guy was saying it's start to finish, one guy does it all.
Yeah, that's
and
what
you just said. That was amazing.
What was that called? That person that goes through, remember, was there a name for it? Wasn't there a name for that?
Like concierge service.
Well,
Yeah, what is it?
Point, single point salesperson.
Single point. And how old is the technology of the self appraisal that you're talking about? A year or two?
More than that.
Yeah, more than that.
More than that. I think KBB ICO is the one that came up with that initially, and that's been in the market. We've been using that at our store for, I want to say, 4 years. So where we just have it where people can self-appraise, and I'm a big proponent of that. I think it's awesome. It takes the friction out, and it also just makes things transparent. Consumers love transparency, fast, simple, easy. I think if you could make everything like that, fast, simple, easy. I mean, look at Amazon. Look at all these things that we all use every day. Fast, simple, easy.
And you find the customers, when you're transparent with them, they tell the truth, right?
Oh yeah, they love it. They love it. They hate the games, and that's what our auto industry has gotten such a bad rap. Customer come in, get your driver's license, hold it hostage, get the keys, throw them on the roof, hold the hold the trade hostage.
God.
I mean, there's, I can,
I've done it.
20 years I've been doing this. So I've seen it all, heard it all, been there, witnessed it all. It's, yeah, Brian, you're 3 decades in, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. So
it wasn't weird back then.
No, that was protocol. That was protocol.
Right.
That was great. I didn't know any better.
Yeah. But the consumers now want to be on their couch.
Here's a piece of paper with 4 squares. Hold on, let me get your keys and throw them on the. Welcome to the dealership.
Or your trade's already sold. Your trade's already sold.
Right, there it goes. We're
already sold it. We took your stuff out of the car.
Oh,
But here, I want to ask this. Okay, but transportation for consumer vehicle acquisition, where you get your inventory, Brian, the opportunity for a transportation business isn't in getting the consumer's vehicle to your dealership. It's after you retail it far away. Is that right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
And I used to get on all the acquisition sites, and I had a team of people, and I'm building a team right now to like a BDC team that can do it like Carvana does and street purchase other vehicles, write same day checks. I'm building out the workflow so that the paperwork is just as, like Skye's saying, it's simple, fast, and easy, just like buying. But it takes a long time to digitize that stuff. And then to make sure the calls are routed, you got different campaigns and the Google AdWords sets and all that stuff. But even with that, the consumers are going to be driving to us. But I think that, like right now, we're still, as a percentage, shipping more inventory out of town because we're able to acquire more desirable vehicles. When you're acquiring, C cars and high mileage, bad Carfax, former rental cars, and you're just trying to get, cars that make no money on the front and try to hopefully roll the dice and make some money on the back, you're not shipping those cars all over the country because people can go across the street and get that car any day. It's just a commodity. It's the desirable stuff that we get cherry picked from us by CarMax that you're going to be shipping all over the country.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Jay, do you remember my very first show with you guys? And how stumped you guys were? Like, say that again. You're talking about the first land appraisal, driveway buy, the 1, 2, 3 transport is where the future's heading. Not me saying it now.
But again, and this is where I think some of the guys get frustrated that we talk about this so much, is that, again, the opportunity for the transport is not in picking up the trade-in.
It's going to be, because here's what's going to happen.
Tell us.
And these guys know this, better than I do, but I'm not always the best end user. I'm not the best end user for every Honda. I'm not the best end user for a 2021 Honda Pilot EXL like I wasn't the other day. And I wholesaled it and some others to Hertz for $5,000 more than what I had them online for.
Nice.
Because they were the best end user. And there was, my wholesale's up. My wholesale's up a lot because I'm able to acquire and have an intake of so many cars. I can be more selective. CarMax's wholesale, they wholesaled 707,000 cars last year. They're up 65%. My wholesale's up significantly. And so is our wholesale profit because we're not the best end user for every vehicle. So even as I've sold more cars and made more money on the cars that we sold, I've had to wholesale more. But I'm okay doing that because it's like you're sifting through, okay, that one is not the most desirable, so I'm going to push that one to the side, and I'll swipe left or right or whatever it is. And I don't have to fight for that car, and I don't have to pound a square peg in the round hole, spend more money on all the advertising, the marketing, discount it, grind it, spiff it, everything else that goes, all that effort. I can just go try to find more of the cars that I am, more well suited to sell. Yep. And I'm going to lay off a bunch of those and going to ship them to Atlanta or West Palm Beach or wherever the best end wholesale user is for it at the same time. So that's one part I wasn't even thinking about is the wholesale.
Right. And
there's a lot more.
And that isn't a similar lane all the time either. That's based on the buyer, the bid. It could be anywhere. Is that right?
Oh yeah, and it's all regional.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, it is. But see, this is where I see Carvana, and I talk about it all the time because I got to spend some time with Scott Wood down there at corporate, and obviously he's only going to tell me what he wants me to hear. But the reality of it is what Brian's saying is pretty cool. Knowing the conversation I had with the guy at Carvana, because these guys are picking up, just like Brian. I mean, they're picking up cars like nuts, and they're putting them in somewhere. Oh, maybe a Odessa parking lot, and then they're sifting through them. Right? I don't want to hear go through there. Okay, there. So this is really what Brian's saying. It's giving me goosebumps and the hair stand up on my arm, because this has here's opportunity, Paul. Ty sees opportunity here. This is what Ty calls grassroots movements, where, okay, maybe we can't take our stuff over here anymore. We'll take it over here. Now we've got this decentralization. We've got QR code readers. We've got all these things, Metaverse Brian's talking about. Here's the technology is disrupting or the recession. Did I say it right?
Technology disrupted the recession.
Yeah, really cool.
You know, one last point, Ty. You and I have talked about this a bunch. If you went to Germain Toyota in Naples, you would, if you just never even heard of this dealership, you might go, what is this tiny little Toyota store, like, you know, in God's waiting room in South Florida. But if you went and you were a transporter, you would see the place is busy. There's cars on the front lot. There's people coming and going. There's guys walking in and out of the showroom. There's activity in the shop. It goes to say, like, if you're a transporter and you're looking to latch, that might be the wrong word, but get involved with somebody.
Align.
The level of activity at Germain Toyota is way higher than it is at a place that's not doing this. So that would be just a good tip if you wanted to, see who's doing or where to get involved.
Okay, so this is cool. I didn't know Brian was going to be here, but I'm really excited, and thank you, Brian. I'm going to be in Tampa, I think, at Digital Dealer.
I was thinking
maybe we could change the flight.
And
I could get a rental car, come to Naples, and do a Friday show and actually see this. Because I would love to see this. This would be so cool. So anyway, we can talk about that later.
Well, and Brian,
I'll be a digital dealer.
I was just saying, what do you present at Digital Dealer?
I do on the Metaverse.
Man,
I can just ride back with you, right?
Whoa.
Hey, Ty, if you need to get in the Metaverse, Ty, you can borrow my glasses. I'll let you.
I'm borrowing the glasses. Skye's got the online one auction view. Brian's got the showroom. We can see it all. Paul, you bring the data. We'll just knock it out of the park. That is amazing. I can't wait to meet you.
This is crazy.
Oh, I'll be there. Okay, great. Tim, you gonna make it?
I won't be a digital dealer this go around in May. I have a bachelor party to go to.
I was going to say Dealer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Back in with get some Oculus goggles.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody's walking around in goggles. Wow, this is so. Wait a minute, Brian. You said you talk about Metaverse at Digital Dealer?
Yeah, we'll be giving out Google Cardboard glasses in the presentation.
Okay,
I'm there.
Wow.
I'm there.
What day is that? Wednesday or Thursday?
That's Wednesday.
Oh, thank goodness. Because, Ty, you don't get in early Tuesday.
That's okay.
Yeah. Well,
I'm a super trucker.
Yeah, there we
There we go. Paul's on the program.
What's
look
up,
at Paul.
Paul? Oh, my gosh.
Now we're talking.
Yeah, dude.
Paul,
You ready?
Wow.
He's
And by
ready.
the way, Paul gets a special
Yeah.
thank you so much for bringing Brian here tonight.
Yeah.
Fact
Really cool.
is,
Thank you,
Will
Paul.
Morris couldn't make it. He had something come up, just a few hours ago. And Paul went ahead and called Brian in the Metaverse. Brian picked up the phone. Tank brought him in through the thingy-jigger, and here he is. So it's super cool. Yeah, thank you, Brian. So great to be here.
Bar in the Metaverse. I'm kidding.
No, I think the goggles.
there
I
is a bar
think
in
the
the
virtual
Metaverse.
reality is that's how people are going to be walking trades in the future, walking private party cars, looking at auction cars. You'll be able to look at them, walk around them, check them out with virtual goggles, touch, feel, smell them, so you'll know if they were smoked in, cigar smoke, whatever it may be, and then
Close.
see that front end, of that car. If there's paint work on the front end, like us car guys, we've all run our fingers on the hood of the car to see if there's a rough edge of those front fenders and hood. I'm certain that's gonna be in the lineup in the future.
Black Widow imaging in the metaverse. Call Jason. Yeah, dude. Exactly. This is. That's all I had to say.
Hey, I'm gonna here's my final thought, and I'm gone. But here's this show. Paul, Brian, Tim, Skye, thank you guys so much, because it really. This is a tough topic for me. I get really edgy. I get kind of angry. I don't even like to. Man, I can really blow apart quick. And I really appreciate you guys bringing this different perspective, a different way of thinking, optimism, hope. It's really, really, honestly, I can't say it enough. But thank you so much, guys, all of you. That really was.
Yeah,
I spent too much time reading this stuff, so thank you.
Well, thank you for having us there.
It was great.
A great time.
This was really fun. All right, cool. Ty, we got some homework.
Yeah, we do.
Paul, we really owe you, and thank you so much.
Yeah.
Brian, thank you for blowing our minds live.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Great.
And Tim and Skye, thank you for your patience and contribution. That was really a unique show.
Yeah,
So,
cool. Good stuff.
Thank you, everybody.
Good.
Really
Thank you, guys.
I'll see you guys at Digital Dealer.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
We'll be in
Good
touch
night.
before then. Thanks, everybody. Thank you.
Tim, next time you're in Naples, you need to stop by.
All right. I'm calling you.
Done.
All right. Thanks, everybody. All right. And we'll go back to camera one. Wow. That was, you know that if you're one of the few, the proud, the lucky ones that's still here or tuned in at any time, whether it's live or on demand, we cover some wild stuff, and unscripted but planned. A lot of planning goes into this show, a lot of adaptation and tap dancing, because that's show business. But man, that was really interesting. And I still, what I always strive to do in this long form content is to find those nuggets that do apply to transportation. And it sounds like, I don't know how the metaverse applies to transportation, but it sounds like on the consumer vehicle acquisition, which is only going to continue, is there's room for, I guess the key word there is relationships with the dealer, and or whether it's the broker, other carriers, that finding a way to provide that customer service and still do business with what it is that you are best at, I think is the bottom line there. I want to thank, first of all, I want to go back into the Martini Super Chat. Thank you so much, Mark Rodicke and Super Dispatch. And also we had Chris Chamberlain in there and Rachel Atkins. Thank you so much for your super chats and supporting this channel. Rapid Recon, Superflow Systems, Black Widow Imaging, Murphy Auto Transport Services. We went ahead and emailed Brian that question. So go ahead and if you got DOT questions, such as that IFTA question we had earlier, join us tomorrow on DOT Compliance at noon Central Time. That is pretty much it. Thank you so much, everybody in the live chat, for the interaction. And did Ty, the live auction guy, flip? Yeah, I think we all flipped a little bit, and which is good. I mean, it's fun. It's necessary. It helps alleviate some of the need to rush out and buy pallets of toilet paper and whatnot. So thank you so much for your catastrophic adaptation tonight and your participation. We thank you so much. My name is Jay. This is ATI. It's the Car Shipping Business Channel. I'm out of here. But if you have any questions for us after the fact, let us know. Put it in the YouTube comments below. If you got a like, please leave one. Otherwise, we'll see you soon. We got another full week of shows. So please do join us at noon on Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. And we'll see you soon. I'm out of here. Take care, everybody. Thank you. Peace out.